Welcome back to the Football Terrace. It is the live Champions League and Europa League draws as we find out the road to the final for Liverpool, Aston Villa, Arsenal, of course, Manchester United and Tottenham as well in the Europa League. Hit the like buttons. Make sure you're sharing. Make sure you are subscribing. Get that done for us right about now. I'm going to move my grapes out the way of the camera. Got to have a little bit of a snack. But yes, loads to talk about this morning. We will be bringing some guests and panelists on a little bit later in the show as well. So stay with us. Stay with us. Looking forward to hearing your views, your opinions, and of course, the eagerly anticipated draw ahead. Let me know where you're watching from around the world as well. I always like to see that. I always like to know what's going on, what people are up to, what people are doing. It's always nice to hear. Someone here, Australia. Pick up yourself over there in the land of Oz. I like Australia. A lot of my family are Australian due to being evacuated there during World War II. So, yeah, amazing stuff. Amazing stuff indeed. The United States, some of you are watching from. I saw someone write the United States. Dark Knight said there is in the United States. Big up yourselves. Let me know if you can hear me coming through, because I've not seen any new comments come through for a while, so I just want to make sure you guys can hear me. Simon here says, morning all, smash the like button too. Hampshire, England waiting to fly back to Zimbabwe. Big up yourself as well. Hampshire to Zimbabwe. That's a journey. That's a journey, isn't it? That's a real journey. I like that. I do like that. Okay. Loud and okay, I'm coming through loud and clear, which is good. Which is good. What I'm also going to do, I'm going to go onto UEFA's website and put up on the screen. I'm a little bit behind today. I've had a mad week. Honestly, I've never had it before. I'm getting old. I've got gout in my foot, and I got some medication for it, and it made me genuinely made me so sick. It made me so ill. I was taking this not to try and sound gross, but I was sounding like, honestly, it was like, stomach went, I had these sweats. I'm basically allergic to the medication they gave me. Thought I was gone on Wednesday night. I didn't know I was going to survive. It was a terrible one, but I feel a lot better today because it's flushed out my system onto the new stuff as well. So yeah, feel good I feel a little bit more human. In fact, I've actually got to take, I've got to take anti-inflammatories for this, right? And I've got to take one now. And I like to eat. The worst thing, I have to eat before this. So I don't like to eat in the mornings. I like to eat in the afternoons. So I have to now get up and eat first thing in the morning as well. So, but I'm all good. I'm all good. Hello from South Africa. Big up yourself, my friend. You're watching from Nigeria. Do I read books? Not really. And that's not because I don't understand the beauty of them. Being dyslexic, I find it really hard to stay fully engaged with a book. So what I typically do is I listen. So if I want to learn about something, I'll find a documentary and listen to it. I find that a lot easier to digest, if that makes sense. But there we go. Sydney, brilliant job on the United stand last night. Thank you. And I've had a lot of compliments regarding that. And I don't know where this is going to go. It was sort of a bit of a guest appearance, but yeah, just very humbled by all the lovely messages from people. So thank you very much indeed. Saad is here with me. Morning, Saad. You're eagerly anticipating the draw, I would assume.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it, man. Either way, I'm screwed. Whichever way it goes, man. Either way, some way I'm gonna meet up with either Bayern Munich or Real Madrid. So either way, we know that it's gonna be a fight. But listen, man, I'm looking forward to it, bro. I'm looking forward to seeing who else gets what team, and do you know what I mean? Even the Europa Conference League, see who Chelsea get, United, Spurs. See who they get as well. But it's going to be an interesting one. There's a lot of English teams in the competitions. That's the interesting thing. So we definitely know that there's a high possibility of getting the fifth spot with us. So yeah, that's definitely something that's interesting now, because that's going to make that also has implications on the title, on the top four race or top five now, because they're going to be fighting for that fifth spot as well. because it's going to give them Champions League football. So listen, I'm excited to see who we get. I'm excited to see if we can get the hopefully we can get the away leg first. Just so we can have the home leg. I'm not sure if that's confirmed yet, but
yeah, I'm just looking for a graphic. I can't find any graphics anywhere. KJ's with us as well. But who is Arsenal? Who are Arsenal's potential opponents again? Because I'm just trying to look at the website and I can't find it.
So we can either come up against Feyenoord or PSV. So not bad for the next round. They're still, they can still be difficult teams. We've seen them in this competition. They've actually played very well, but in the grand scheme of things, we should go past them. But it's about the next rounds, who we're gonna get. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I just thought it'd be readily available on their website to look at, and there's just barely anywhere has got any graphics. They've got loads of like dribble and nonsense written down.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to hear any of that. I just want to see a simple graphic that shows who the teams can get. And I can't seem to find any of them anywhere. Tom Little has joined us here this morning as well. I think I may have found one.
Check on Twitter.
Yeah, I've been looking. I can't seem to find one.
I've seen loads before. So let me go find one.
Find me one, ping it, and I'll put it on the graphics and put it on the screen. Tom's here with us as
literally found it in like 2 seconds. I don't know what you're on.
Yeah, awful. What I'm doing ain't working. So yeah, you find it for it, bro, and I'll put it on the screen. Hey, I've had do you know what it is? I've slept like 3 days because I had this gout, and last night I slept like a baby. I didn't wake, and I just woke up and it was like 10:10, and I was like, I need to get up and have a shower quickly. I got to eat, got to sort the dog out, and I was like rushing around, and I'm like, I haven't got graphics done, but yeah, I needed that sleep. Honestly, it's the best sleep I've had in a long time. How are you feeling?
That's up for you, and also private chat as well if you need it.
Yeah, put it in the private chat. My WhatsApp's not working on my computer at the minute for some weird reason. Right. How are you feeling about the draw today, Tom? And obviously finding out your road to the final. Are you still largely confident?
Yeah, I think I don't know how this works. I'll be honest. This is the part of the new system when I'm lost. I thought that we'd have, I didn't realize it was all seeded, so you find an entire route today. I think after this round, after the round of 16, we're relatively okay. So I really just want to avoid PSG. I hear people say, you want to play. I want to play all the good teams. I don't. Give me the most bullshit route to the final possible. Give me all the crap teams. I'll play one decent one in the final. Win. No one's taking that trophy away from me. So give me Benfica, and then I think we're on like the side of the draw where like it's all like the mid-level teams.
Don't you guys find though that this year's Champions League is thrown up? The last time I saw shocks like this was when COVID happened, and it was all the one-off games where everyone played in Portugal together at the same time. But nobody would have expected Club Bruges to even get through the playoff rounds. I don't think they would have done. Feyenoord knocking out AC Milan after Feyenoord lost their, was it Feyenoord who lost their striker Jimenez to them? Or am I thinking?
Yeah.
PSV and their performance. There's been quite a lot of shocks already. I know Brest went out in the end to PSG, but I think Brest, even being where they were, shocked a lot of people. So I don't know if there's any foregone conclusions. Here are the brackets that can come out that KJ sent through to me, which is great. So thank you, mate. Which shows that essentially it's not so much who Arsenal can get. It's Feyenoord will either get Inter Milan or Arsenal. PSV will either get by Arsenal or Inter. And then as you see, Paris Saint-Germain or Liverpool. Paris Saint-Germain or Benfica for Liverpool is a really big one. Aston Villa as well. I mean, Villa can get either Club Bruges or Dortmund. Do you boys think that Villa will fancy their chances in Europe against either of those sides?
100%. 100%. Dortmund this season have been dreadful. They've not been their normal selves in the Bundesliga. They've obviously sacked Noé Sahin. They're just a mess right now. Club Bruges, obviously, they'll be a tough opponent. But you look at that Villa squad with the additions they made in January, Rashford, Asensio, Garcia, Watkins in fine form, Rodgers in fine form. I think Villa are licking their lips.
Asensio. I mean, Club Bruges, I think, beat them in the league phase stage. I think they did away. But it was one of those games where over 2 legs, I would still fancy Aston Villa. But adding into the mix Rashford, Asensio as an example, they've got I feel like Villa have got a puncher's chance in the remainder of this tournament. I really do think they've got a puncher's chance.
It depends who they get in the quarterfinals as well, because looking at that they're going to get one of either, if they're on the left side of the draw, if they get Club Brugge, on the face of it, easy round the 16 tie. And then all of a sudden you're looking at either one of PSG and Liverpool or Barca, and that'll be really where it's made. That left-hand side of the draw is horrid.
It
the
is.
right-hand side isn't much better, but the left-hand side is horrid.
Let me make them an argument. Let me make an argument for Villa here. You beat them 2-0 at Anfield, but that was with 2 counter-attack goals, and they really gave it a good go. You drew with them the other night 2-2. So yes, you were the better team, and it's 4-2 over 2 games. But you're the best team in Europe this year. You're the best team in the Prem, and I think they gave you a really good game in both matches. So I've seen Villa go toe-to-toe with you this year. Yes, they would be the underdogs, no doubt, but they could go far in this competition. They've got the ability, in my opinion, to do it. And I feel that once I was watching this
for knockout football as well.
Exactly. Unai Emery for knockout football is a master. And I was watching Asensio and Rashford the other night, and I was thinking, give them maybe a few more games. Hang on a minute. Why is Ram's username the Ram Stand?
A couple years ago, I started a YouTube channel, but unfortunately, I haven't followed through with it. So that's why.
Yeah, all I'm saying is, you gotta be careful with that name, because that could be a pause moment.
I know.
It's
real moment, bro.
So you're looking a bit sus there, Ram.
Do you perform in Soho on the Ram Stand, do you?
Fuck.
Get your minds out of that gutter, man. That's what I'm saying.
That's no gut.
But I think
having a conversation.
But I think it could be interesting, just obviously because Club Brugge, for me, they've actually looked very compact in games. But I do understand what you guys are talking about the 2 legs, because even if they do, let's say they do come up against the Liverpool in the week, we saw that they actually looked very good against Liverpool and were able to go, were able to take their chances, and they had a lot of players missing in that game as well. I don't know if you guys saw the injury list of who they had missing. They had a lot of players missing, that first team players that could come on, cause a problem, like Leon Bailey and stuff like that. So for them to get those players back, and who they could possibly face. Listen, I'm not saying that Aston Villa can't get through. I think they've definitely got some talent. They've definitely got some fire in their belly to try and get far in this competition, especially with Unai Emery.
If you look at their record in the Champions League, it's not bad in terms of when they lose. It's not like they get battered like 5-0 or 4-1 or something. It's always tight. 2-1, 1-0.
I mean, they lost to Club Brugge, but that was the game where they gave away a penalty because Tyrone Mings picked up a goal kick.
Exactly. I swear Arsenal did that last year.
Arsenal did it against Bayern, but it didn't matter then. It didn't matter then.
We apparently got away with it. Do you know what I mean?
The referee said we're not going to punish playground mistakes like that. But when it's
honestly,
that
was a disgraceful decision. That was clearly a handball.
Yeah, but I actually, do you know what? I agree they should have given a penalty for it. Big up to Redback Spider, by the way, Leighton Orient fan. Says, isn't Ram Stand a category on Pornhub?
It could be. You learn something new every day, bro. I did not know that. I did not know that.
No, I don't think it is. It's a joke, mate. It's
you never know. Some people come up with random stuff, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't know that. I never saw that one on there. I've never seen that one. I'll look later.
Nah. I did not know that.
We know how you single young men roll. We know how you roll with a Bonnie Blue or 2. Do you know what I mean? It's
no way.
Both of them are pregnant, which is crazy.
By the way, how was that? By the way, Ram, how was the experience being one of the 1,000?
1,000 what?
Again, just I don't know what you're on about.
1,000 what? 1,000 what?
Oh, he signed the NDA, man. He signed the NDA.
I still don't know what you guys are on about. I swear to God.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like It's like the Scotched Egg Club. You don't talk about Fight Club. Sorry, I was thinking the same from. Anyway,
all I'm saying is, Terry, if Maury does a show about revealing who's the father of those 2 girls,
mate,
and Ram's name come up,
I remember watching that Maury once, right? And this woman and she was a bloke, and it was the 37th man they DNA tested to see whether it was the dad or not. And all I remember thinking is to myself, look, each to their own, everyone lived their own life. But imagine that many in that small window. I thought to myself, wow, what a life, what a life. On Arsenal, what do we think Arsenal's chances are of winning the Champions League from this point? What are you saying, KJ? A lot of people writing Arsenal off because they've never won the Champions League before. Is that a valid reason, and could it change this season?
Well, everyone has to win their first Champions League at some point. So Man City, obviously, look how long it took for them to win it. And even when they hadn't won it before, people were still saying they can win the Champions League, they can win the Champions League. So, yeah, we used to banter them about heritage and all of that. But if we're going to be honest, if your team's good enough to win a Champions League, first win or not, you're good enough to win a Champions League. With Arsenal, their injuries not helping them at all. And you don't want this to be the case, but theirs is all down to the side of the draw they're on. If they end up on the side with the likes of Real Madrid, PSG, maybe a Barcelona, maybe Liverpool, yeah, I don't see them going through. Personally, it would just be too much for this Arsenal team to ask for at this stage. Well, we're on the other side, and maybe look, Bayern aren't the greatest in Europe. They're easy to get out with underneath company. Then maybe you only face a Barcelona instead, or a Liverpool. That's 2 less people that you have to go through. I think that's doable to get to a final. And if they get to a final, anything can happen. So I'm right now saying it's unlikely. They're probably 5th favorites at the moment. But you never know in Champions League football. We've seen so many upsets already. So yeah, they're still up there. Top five ain't bad.
I'll tell you what, that right-hand side is so much easier compared to that left. I'd do anything to go on that right-hand side of the draw.
No. We need you on the other side, mate.
I don't need to play PSG.
Yeah, but
I don't need to play Real Madrid again. I've already done this year.
We'll come back to that one in a moment. What do you think, Ram, about Arsenal's chances? Because forget that they've got some injury problems. Forget the injuries to Kai Havertz and Gabriel Jesus. The general consensus when Arsenal were discussing the Champions League is you haven't won it before, therefore you won't win it now. That is the typical rule, coupled with Arteta doesn't have the best record in cup competitions as well, which I think is an absolutely fair and valid point. If they manage to stay on that right-hand side, as KJ has pointed out, and they get Feyenoord, and maybe they get Bayer Leverkusen, or, Bayern Munich, in the quarterfinals, how far do you think they could potentially progress?
Look, they've finished in the top 8, so they've definitely got a good chance. They're one of the best teams in Europe. My main issue is when it comes to these knockout competitions, there's so very little room for error that sometimes injuries, like they have, will hamper them a lot. I think if they do get someone like a Feyenoord, I don't know who they can get in the left-hand side, but if they do get someone like Feyenoord and they're up against Leverkusen, I think that Leverkusen game may be a bit of a problem for them, because of the fact that Leverkusen, even though they've been a bit inconsistent in the Bundesliga, they can still grind out wins, and they can exploit so many weaknesses that Arsenal have got. But I think for this moment, I think Arsenal do have a good chance. But again, like you said previously, their record that they have in knockout competitions ain't that great, and heritage means a lot in these competitions. Having that know-how of how to win is important, and I think Arsenal just don't have that, and especially with their injuries, I don't see them going any further than the semis if they do get past.
What's even I just popped into my mind as you're speaking. You know what they're lacking, which they have been saying for a few years now. Besides Saka, who's clutch? Who's going to pop up with that moment in a Champions League game? In a Champions League game, it's
Trossard.
1-1.
Trossard has done it before.
So Champions League, it's 1-1. It's extra time. You think Trossard coming up with a goal?
Well, he done it. He done it in the Porto game. Porto game, we came from the away leg. Was playing at home, and it was a tough game already because there was so much.
That was last season, right?
Are you gonna be able to get a goal? Are you able to do this? And then he scores clutch moment. Odegaard puts it
I mean,
on.
clutch
okay
moments
for him
in
and-
in like the 30th minute. I don't think that's kind of what KJ's getting at. We're going
Yeah.
like
No,
last
no, but
minute,
in
all
the-
the pressure on.
Okay,
Heave
guys, the
back
draw,
Leandro
guys, the draw has begun. Aston Villa's name has just come out of the pot, so we can come back to the debates once the draws are over. So it's Aston Villa versus Club Brugge. It's Aston Villa versus Club Brugge.
What side is that?
PSG, Real Madrid side.
That's on the left hand side as we view it on the screen. So that'll be on the left hand side. So they will, So they will get, So that's that side of the draw done. So I'm just bookmarking.
Terry, where are you watching this, by the way?
Yeah,
on
because
YouTube.
I'm way ahead of
UEFA. Go to the UEFA website. It's way ahead.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
about to
Yeah.
say.
what are you? Which one are you guys on? Because I just saw.
Yeah, don't say anything. Don't say anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just go to the live draw now then. So apologies about that. I was on the right. Okay, so what haven't I seen then? Because I've just got on it.
Yo.
Yeah, it's a mad one. I think the next one is Bayern Munich versus Leverkusen. So
Well,
Bayern
I've
Munich
just seen
looks-
Arsenal's name come out.
Oh, so you're way ahead of me then. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I haven't
yeah,
even seen
yeah.
Arsenal.
That's what I mean. So
Well, I haven't
Arsenal's name-
even seen Arsenal.
Arsenal PSV. Arsenal have got PSV,
That's the
So
Real
which means
Madrid side.
Arsenal,
They're on the
Which means-
left.
which means Arsenal are on the left hand side. Arsenal on the left hand side. Arsenal are on the left.
Real Madrid.
It is what it is, Sarge.
Essentially.
Okay, so then we'll come to all that in a moment. So next name out, Inter Milan have just been drawn out, and Inter Milan will play Feyenoord. So Inter Milan are on the other opposite side. They're against Feyenoord. So that's an interesting one. Honestly, if Liverpool end up getting that right hand side now, if Liverpool end up getting the right hand side, they're pulling one of the names out of pot
Scripted.
one now. So this is either going to be Liverpool or PSG. Sorry, Liverpool or Barca that come out here. Okay. And the name out is Liverpool. And Liverpool have got. Liverpool get. Come on, show us. Paris Saint-Germain. Liverpool, Paris Saint-Germain.
Why are they shook?
Yes.
Why are you guys shook?
I don't know why they're
I
shook.
don't
What's
need
the side of the draw?
George, you don't understand how piss easy the draw is on the other side.
Yeah.
By the way, though,
No, I get what you mean.
by the way, even more exciting than that, all three English sides
Teams on one
are on
side.
the left-hand side. So only one English side could possibly get to the final now, which
Throwing
means
it back.
quarterfinals and semi-finals. If the English teams progress, they will be against each other.
It's the top
I'm
five.
going
Basically, it's
for
top five for us then.
Yeah, I'm gutted for Villa because if they had the other side with Liverpool and Arsenal on the other, that would have
Wow.
been mint for them. But
That's crazy. But now that is crazy. So they're doing more draws now. So they're going to do the winner of the round of 16. I don't quite get what this means now because you know when you can't listen to it, you don't ever quite get what they're fucking doing. Do you know what I mean? Just wish that's a massive draw. Massive draw.
No. Oh, no.
You guys shouldn't be scared of PSG though. I don't get Arsenal.
I'm
go
not,
there
no,
fairly easy,
George,
like,
George
with them.
is having the easiest run.
George,
We had the piss easy
It's
run.
so easy on the right.
This is the
You
problem
literally
with you
did.
guys. Why do you want the easy run? Knock out the big boys.
Because I
early.
wanna make it to a
I
final.
want to get to a final, mate. What are you on
One second,
about?
so let me ask you this, George. If you was in the Champions League, what are you taking? The easy route or the hard route?
When we got to the final, we took the hard route, bro.
No, that's not right. What are you taking, my brother?
Guys, there's still more of a draw going. We'll come back to the debates
Okay,
after the draw,
yeah.
guys. Sorry, I didn't also see because we had the delay because we switched. Real Madrid, Ati. That
That's
is
gonna be
crazy.
good.
That's crazy. They're doing the quarterfinal draws, but I don't quite understand. I think it's picking who goes home and away first.
Yeah.
So the winner, it says winner round 16-1 versus winner round 16-2. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
So in
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Liverpool will be home in the first
Yeah.
leg if they get through to the quarterfinals. So Liverpool will be away in the second leg of the quarterfinals if that indeed happens. Okay, the next names out. So they've got winner of game 4 will be in home in the first leg versus the winner of game 3. So they're going to bring that up on the screen for us now. So in the quarterfinals, I've just drawn out Arsenal will be at home at the first leg. They'll be away in the if Arsenal get through, they'll be away at the Bernabeu or Atleti for the second leg. Away Arsenal will be. And I mean, so if Arsenal even get through Real Madrid and Atleti, then they've got to play Liverpool or PSG essentially.
Yeah.
Wow.
At least now, if we win this Champions League, bro, nobody can tell me it was a shit run, bro. That's all I need to know. Bro.
That's true. But saying that, mate, we tell Chelsea they had a terrible run into the Champions League. Do they care? No, they want the Champions League.
Barcelona or Benfica. But guys, Barcelona or Benfica will be away in the second leg to either Lille or Dortmund. So none of the that's an interesting one. So
started the draw, man.
Barcelona are in the final, basically.
Yeah, Barcelona have had the luck of the draw, haven't they?
You can say that comfortably.
I think they're the underdogs.
Yeah, but do you know who? Do you know? Well, not on that side, but do you know who I think's got half a chance now, though, on that side of the draw? Bayer Leverkusen. No, Bayer Leverkusen. Bayer Leverkusen have got. I think they're a little bit naive in Europe when I've watched them play, but the fact that they've got a slightly easier, and they'll be away second leg against Inter or Feyenoord if they make it through. But that's your draw. That's your draw. I mean, the semi. I don't know if they're going to draw the semi-finals because I suppose you will because you've got to be a home and away side. But
yeah, they will.
Yeah. Oh, that's a mad one. I can't wait to see the brackets put back up now. This Champions League looks exciting, bruv.
But Inter Milan. Listen, you get to that final once in the recent years, you can do it again.
Inter Milan. I would say Inter Milan are better than Feyenoord on their day, and I think everyone's better than Bayern this season at the highest level. And Bayer Leverkusen, do they have the experience of Milan? I don't know. So it's the winner of quarterfinal 2 is going to be home first, which I think means Arsenal are going to be away for the second leg.
Again.
Yeah, I think Arsenal will be away for the second leg of the semi-finals as well. How's your luck? How's your luck?
So what are you telling me? I got to go to possibly Anfield?
Anfield second leg.
So yes, if you were to get through against Real Madrid, your final game, and Liverpool got through, you're either away at Paris Saint-Germain or away at Anfield for the second leg of that game as well. Jeez. Damn! That's difficult. I'm not going to lie. That's very, very difficult for Arsenal.
South came into this with so much hope, and he's just watched it get knocked again and again and again.
Bro, it's not like I did prayers before the thing and I was doing dua, you know what I mean, to get an easier run. Do you know what I mean? Something home fixtures last. Oh,
yo, you know, the last time a draw did that to me, it was the 4th round of the FA Cup in 2013, where in the 3rd round we got City away and we managed to beat them. We beat them, which is a hard game. Thought, okay, good draw this round. Then we went away to Anfield and lost. It was like, imagine your first 2 draws are away to City and then away to Liverpool.
Ooh,
so yes, the bracket is done. The bracket, I'm actually going to share my screen so I can share it all with you. Oh my days, look at this, people. This is an absolute festive beauty. This is a festive beauty if I've ever seen one in my life, as you can see here. So PSV versus Arsenal will play Real Madrid or Ati in the quarter-finals, as you can see here. Paris Saint-Germain play Liverpool, and they will face either Club Brugge or Aston Villa in the quarter-final. The semi-finals, as you can see on that left-hand side, could have any one of 3 English teams in it. Could be Liverpool, Real Madrid, could be PSG, Real Madrid. So many permutations there. The other side of the draw, Benfica Barca will face either Borussia Dortmund or Lille in the quarterfinals. Inter Milan versus Feyenoord will play either Bayern Munich or Bayer Leverkusen in the quarterfinals there. The left-hand side is it's the left-hand side of death. There's no doubt in comparison to the right. Everybody would rather be on the right. Most of the big hitters, barring Barcelona this season's big hitters, and maybe Inter Milan, are all on that left-hand side. Looking at that now, what are you thinking? What are you thinking, Ram and Tom and Sard, seeing your teams there?
I wish I was on the right.
Yeah, same, bro. Honestly.
The right just looks so nice.
Bro, the left just looks like a battlefield, bro. Like you're going to war now, man. There's too many big hitters on that left side. Barcelona just sitting there, cushy, just relaxed. You know what I mean? It's all good. We're gonna get to the final eventually, but bro, especially for us getting the away leg as the second leg away. Like, bro, it's gonna be a challenge going to the Bernabeu, then possibly going to Anfield if Liverpool go through, which they probably will. So it's definitely gonna be a tough run. It's definitely gonna be a tough run, but the only thing that I'm happy about is that I think Saka is going to be back soon. I think he's got maybe like a month or less than a month of recovery left before he's back. In my personal opinion, I don't even want him back, but at least that's something that's a positive to that. But it's still going to be very, very difficult, man. I don't know if I see us going far. If we do, then that is massive for Mikel Arteta, for the team, like to show that they can go head toe to toe with, especially Real Madrid. We've just seen what they've done to Manchester City. I mean, Manchester City are shit right now, but it doesn't matter because Real Madrid are a different beast when it comes to the knockout stages. We know this, and then Liverpool. Listen, their history says it for itself. It's there to see. You know what I mean? What they do in knockout stages. So it's going to be a tough run. We just need to focus on PSV now and get past PSV. And
I mean, there is this comment here from Marlon says there's no easy draw at this stage. I wouldn't use the word easy, but there are easier teams to play. You know, you'd much rather have Club Brugge than PSG from a Liverpool. I mean, from a Liverpool point of view, they won the group stage and they end up with PSG as their first knockout game because of how bad. And PSG, I wanted to ask about PSG. I want to go to George on this. Yes, I understand what you're saying that Liverpool fans maybe shouldn't be scared. But PSG in their last 4 or 5 Champions League games have come alive. Absolutely come alive in terms of the way they've performed in the last 3 group stages. They battered Brest. I mean, they absolutely obliterated them the other day. It feels like they're finding their form, maybe at the wrong time for Liverpool, who are going for a bit of a bad patch. Could that be Liverpool's comeuppance here?
I look here and say PSG had a good second half of the Champions League, but let's have it right. When you look at the level of competition that they was playing, it wasn't at the level of competition that they started off the Champions League with. Like, PSG haven't been that good. They slapped up Brest. Let's have it right. That was always going to happen. They dealt with Man City, who were going through a bad run of form at that time, which everyone's dealt with Manchester City. And then the only other team that they really beat was Monaco and Salzburg. Was it Salzburg? Not Monaco, sorry. They had another easy team, Stuttgart.
Yeah.
And Stuttgart. Like, these are teams that they're all expected to beat. When I look at this fixture and this, how we've seen PSG historically within the Champions League, when they get to these rounds and they come up against a Liverpool or a bigger side, they get dealt with. It's very easy. And so I think the hard game is going to be the away from home, you know, Parc des Princes. It's never a nice fixture, but I generally think this is a fairly easy fixture for Liverpool. I think they just go there, play their game, and they will break down PSG. Not easy as in they're going to win 4-0, but I think it's going to be routine and they're going to get the job done. Liverpool just get it done in Champions League. PSG don't. Let's have it
completely disagree. I completely disagree.
Man. Especially with it being Slot's first knockout stage with Liverpool. They navigated the group stage beautifully. That's fair on them and well done to Slot. But the knockout stages, again, if we're saying, look at Arsenal, look how hard it's going to be, the knockout stage, all these different things, how is Slot tactically gonna manage this next?
Vincent Kompany beat PSG, and he's been horrible this season. Let's have it right.
Yeah, listen, I'm not saying that it's going to be like, it's going to be like so like they got no chance. But I'm just curious to see what Slot does because remember, Luis Enrique, he's still a Champions League winner, like in the past. So if we want to talk about heritage, Liverpool as the club has the heritage, yes. But if you go manager for manager, Enrique is the guy in the Champions League that you look to and say, well, Slot, how good is he? How good is he? He's killing it in the Premier League. He killed it in the group stages or the league phase. Can he now take that form into the knockout stage, which we've seen many teams turn it on before? And the confidence that the PSG are going to be getting from the last few games in the Champions League, never knock down confidence in football.
Do you know what it is about PSG for me? Like, I look at when we played them, and yes, that was probably our best performance of this Champions League run so far. But the PSG now, I disagree with George because George, I think they look different. They look different than how they played when they played against us. They didn't look organized when they were playing against us. It was a bit of a mess. Yes, Dembele was missing from that game, but they were still making stupid mistakes. They're not making those mistakes anymore, and they just look a bit more organized. They look a bit more compact. They look a bit more dangerous and deadly. I genuinely think they're coming into form, and this is probably the worst time for Liverpool to play them. I definitely agree with Tom and Ram in obviously them being a bit concerned, just because they're going on a madness and starting to blitz teams, and then Liverpool are having a bit of a rough patch at the moment. Do you know what I mean? Drawing games, forwards aren't putting away
Champions
chances.
League is always different though. I've watched crap Liverpool teams suddenly beat some of the best teams in Europe. Heritage can't be understated. Look, PSG have done very well recently. That they put the sword to Man City in the Champions League in the group stage. I think ultimately it's going to come down to how we manage the first leg. I think if we get out the first leg with a draw or a slight result either way, as long as it's not 2-3-0, 2-3-1 or 3-1, 4-1, when you take it back to Anfield, stupid shit happens at Anfield. Crazy knockout stuff happens at Anfield. And I think if we can just get ties to Anfield, the only one that we've not got Anfield second leg is Club Brugge or Villa. Every respect to those teams, one of them has Simon Mignolet in goal. I would back my team away from home against Simon Mignolet if it came down to it. I've watched that man too many times. I know what he's about. And then the semi-final will be at home. So I back up us there. So we just need to be professional. We normally up the level in the Champions League, and we should want as much as I would love to be on the right hand side of the draw. I'm a fan. I don't like the stress. These players should be thriving to play some of these top teams in Europe and showcase that they are still, at the level of the best team in Europe and prove it. So, looking forward to it's the wrong word. I'll never look forward to a tough Champions League game. I want the most B-Tech route to the final. I want to laugh at everyone when they go, "Oh, you didn't play anyone." But we're going to play teams. I back us to beat them. I back us to turn up. We've been so good across this season. I think we'll find that.
I hear that. Who are the dark horses in this tournament? Who are the team that we think maybe not go on to win it, but who could shock a few more teams? We've obviously seen the likes of Club Brugge already knock out Atalanta, PSV knocking out Juve. I mean, Bayern Munich, they almost saw themselves get knocked out by Celtic as an example. There's been a lot of games so far that I think Feyenoord knocking out Milan, especially after Milan took Jimenez. Could we see more of that in these round of 16s? And if so, who is someone just put dark horses into Milan? I couldn't ever see Inter Milan as a dark horse who were finalists a few years ago. But if that's your opinion, but who are that team? Who do you think are the ones that everybody's underrating that could go really far?
Club Brugge. Club Brugge is the obvious option because
you have a lot
what
of
I've seen from them. Remember, Simon Mignolet also was the Champions League winner as well, Tom. You need to remember that.
He did save a penalty, to be fair. He did save a good penalty.
But it's the fact they're so organized. They've got quality as well. As in, Bruges can produce some pretty decent players, and the way that they play, they're going to be a tough opposition for any team, including Villa. Feyenoord, I think Feyenoord against Arsenal, I think Arsenal will just overwhelm them. The only obvious option for me is Bruges. I think what we've seen from them this season, and the opponent that they're playing, I think it will be an evens game between them and Villa. I think it will be a very good game to watch. And you could see them in a semi-final. No one would ever expect them. I think this would be the first time in their history first time in 40, 50 years that they've gone to a Champions League semi-final, something like that. So, yeah, for me, it's got to be Bruges.
No, he's actually Villa. He's actually.
What about? Yeah, you did say don't PSV pay Arsenal. You said fair.
It was PSV.
Sorry,
yeah,
so PSV.
I think pay Inter.
I think if PSV, obviously, I'm not gonna. I think Arsenal could get through that game against PSV, but if they don't, PSV is definitely a team you don't want to underestimate. We saw what happened in the Liverpool game when you starting the young kids against them. I know that wasn't their best team, but they are a team that can score goals. Their attack is dangerous. That Bakayoko, that front three they got it can cause problems. So away from home, if Arsenal don't get that through that fixture, I think they could be a team to look out for. But outside of that, I know you said that because Barcelona's on the other side of the playoff, that it's not as hard for them. But I generally think they are a dark horse to win it, because at the start of the season, if you said Barcelona under their manager and their young
I can't
team,
have the team who finished
can't
second
put
in the
Barca
league
there.
phase be a dark horse.
They're my favorite. They're my favorite.
no, but I think they had a
but
decent
George,
draw.
You look at the players that they got, and also the manager that they got. They got a Champions League winner.
Yeah,
I'll
they
be
got-
honest, Benfica's
No,
an
but when you
interesting
talk
name
about
because they
players,
ran
they've
them
got a
close.
young squad. They've got a very young squad, Barcelona.
but
Not
it-
too many
it's all-
experience.
It's not a dark horse
They
squad,
got
though.
Frankie. Like they got quality as well.
Bro, they've won it. The last time they won it was 10 years ago.
George, a team with Pedri, Lewandowski, and Lamine Yamal, and this season's Rafinha. I'm sorry, and De
But
Jong,
you
it
just
can't
named
be a
two
dark
senior
horse.
players, and the other players you named were two kids that haven't
Yeah,
been in this.
but the thing
league
is,
before.
you say the kids, but it's not like they're patchy form. They're
Pedri's
consistent.
a kid now.
I get what you're
arguably,
saying, but-
100
And
games.
Pedri's not a
But
kid.
if we are being honest,
Hey, George,
here,
Koundé ain't a kid. Koundé
no,
ain't a
but
kid.
if we
Inigo
are being
Martinez ain't a
honest,
kid.
here, Barcelona again, apart from that 2016 Champions League, they performed really badly in the past 10 years in the Champions League. They've not done well. They've been knocked out by a lot of teams they shouldn't have been knocked out against, and that's where I'm looking at. They've not had a good run
But that
in the
doesn't make
Champions
them a
League.
dark horse per
Yeah,
se,
yeah,
because
dark horse.
Well, it
I'm
does,
I'm
because they've not won it for a long
I-
time.
Yeah, but
No,
neither's
No, I
Arsenal.
don't-
No one's calling Arsenal a dark horse.
yeah, but I'd say yeah.
Exactly.
No, but they would.
I-
no,
I-
but if someone does say Arsenal is a dark horse, they would be right to say that Arsenal have never won it before, so they would be a dark horse.
Well,
But I
so
think
for you,
when you're talking about a dark horse, you're talking about like the caliber of the team, like what players they have and how big of a team that they are. I think when you say dark horse, it's more the smaller teams. Could they surprise someone? Like if you said, Benfica's a dark horse because you think they might beat
Benfica's
Barcelona,
run
like then that would be crazy. But you'd say, yeah, they could be a dark horse then. Oh yeah, you think they could beat Barcelona and they could get far. But I don't think you could say Barcelona are way too big. They're 3 times Champions League winners. They can't be. Are they 3 times?
Like
Or is it
I'm
5?
struggling.
Four.
I'm struggling
No,
to
sorry,
say.
5 times.
4
5
times.
times.
Yeah,
5
5.
times, isn't it? 5
Yeah.
times.
I'm struggling to say Atleti because I think Atleti, if they've given Real Madrid 2 tough games this year. I know it's Champions League and they don't have a great record against them in the Champions League, but if Atleti get through that game,
It's just
I don't see how they don't ride that
The
momentum.
easiest way for me to describe it is: would you be surprised to see them in the latter stages of the tournament, in the semi-finals and the final?
I don't feel like
Wouldn't
any
you
team
not?
that's got through right now, you'd be surprised. Apart from like I said, Club Brugge or like the teams that don't belong to be here.
That's what I say. The Dutch teams and Club Brugge and possibly even Benfica to an extent are the obvious options. But you can't tell me you put teams like Inter. You put in the comments Inter.
No, but
I can't lie.
What you guys are doing?
When
No
KJ asked that question, I was like, bro, I'll be surprised to see us.
Lil about a good
Lil.
campaign. Lil about, and I'm not
Lil
even
might be
saying
dark
dark
horses.
horses to win it. I'm just talking about a team that could, shock a few people. And I look at a team like Lille, and people expect them to go out, but I think there's been some big
They've got
shocks this year in
Dortmund
the
as
group
well.
stages. I could see them in a quarterfinal. And once you're there, anything can happen. And yeah, I think Club Brugge could be a team though. They look really dangerous against City. They beat Villa, but I'm very, very excited indeed. Big question. We spoke about it a little bit earlier, but we had to go off track because the draw started. Now we know the draw. I suppose it's an even better. It can be answered easier. George, can Arsenal win the Champions League this year?
Don't be silly, man. We're asking silly questions now.
You need to relax, bro, with that tone, bro. Why is this guy bringing
Bro,
out that
you
tone?
went into the Champions
Why is he
League.
bringing out that tone,
because
bro?
let's be honest here. You was in the
Yeah,
Champions League for what? I remember Arsenal fans used to gas up. We've been in the Champions League 20 years in a row. Okay, you went to the final once. So for me, forgive me for thinking you're not gonna get to the final or you're not gonna win it. Prove me wrong. I've asked Arsenal fans to prove me wrong year in, year out, and you guys don't.
So George, I don't mind you saying that we're not gonna get to the final, but it was that laugh, bro. It was mad disrespectful.
Well, we have
You know what I
European
mean?
trophies. So when you
Come
say
on,
will
come on.
Spurs get to a final, yeah, I mean heritage.
George,
proves
were you alive when that
You guys
European
don't know
trophy was
about
won? Were you
don't know
alive when
about
that European
Why are
trophy
you
was
looking
won?
down when you say that? Why did he look
You
down?
know he's capping, bro. You know he's.
I'm not capping though.
He did a big hand. You had to look down while he said it. Do you know what I mean?
No, because when you talk about European trophies, I know Liverpool can. They're big. They're the team that will go ahead of us. Man United, we've talked about Champions League 100%. But when Arsenal's on this panel, I know that I can definitely come here and talk about. I know more about European football than you do. Let's get something right. So.
Yeah, but you also know more about bottling. So, like, what we're doing here is that's more
you?
your heritage.
That's not true though. That's actually not true because if you actually look at the history, Arsenal are literally known for being top of the league at Christmas and then bottling. How many years have they not bottled the league?
How many finals have you been to in recent years, and how many have you won?
What? How many? We've been to quite a few finals and lost.
Yeah, and you've won one in 2000. Is it 2008?
Yeah, but you could do the same thing.
Arsenal have won more finals in recent years.
How many finals have they been?
Won more finals in recent years.
No. Do you realize we went up against the Chelsea side?
How many outside the FA Cup?
We had
how many finals have you been to?
That FA Cup in COVID, bro. We had no right to beat anybody in the semi-finals or the finals. Man City had to beat Chelsea, bro. Come on, man. The rest of the team, bro.
Outside of the FA Cup, because you have played Europa League a few times.
We were just talking about trophies and cups. Why are you trying to change it now, bro? We were just talking about trophies. We're
trying to understand how many finals you've been to outside the FA Cup final where you've actually been successful. It hasn't happened. League Cups, Arsenal are non-existent in for years on end. You guys have like two or three League Cups in your history in like 35 years or something. And then when you look at Europa Leagues, you guys have been poor in Europa League. Whenever you're there, you get knocked out at semis and quarters. So if we're having it right, like it's only the FA Cup.
I hear all that, guys. But to George's first point about they've got no chance of winning it, I'm going to go to Tom on this question. Do you think that's true? Do you look at Arsenal's draw? You look at the injuries, the lack of heritage, which I do think plays a part with the fans and handling the anxiety, etc., of the games. Is that going to be what does for Arsenal now? The draw, the injuries, the lack of heritage. How far? And if so, how far do you see them going?
I don't think that draw could have went any worse for them, just in terms of the way they're gonna have to play certain teams. The squad's struggling already. I know that they've got Saka coming back, but I'd highly doubt Saka will be 100% for the rest of the season. I think you need to get the next season to see the Saka that's 100%. The fact is, they get through PSV, which could be a tough game. They've played very well this Champions League, and Arsenal are going into this game with a very depleted squad. They get through the PSV game. They get the ultimate Champions League baptism of fire with Real Madrid with the Bernabeu second leg. No, I don't know many teams in football history that have survived that, and Arsenal would have to go through that. And if they got through that, then they'd have to play most likely one of PSG or Liverpool away second leg as well. I just think the draws not helped them in any way, and that'll probably be their undoing, especially with. You got to bear in mind this is all going on while there's a league title race. So whilst Liverpool and Arsenal are playing, I think we've got Everton and Fulham at one point. We're gonna have a quarter-final sandwich in there. I don't know what Arsenal's fixtures look like, but they might have a couple tough fixtures with a Champions League away game at the Bernabeu sandwich in there. So it's going to affect more than one competition. I just think this year's probably too soon for Arsenal. In terms of the draw,
do we know the date? Do we know the dates of the games yet? Has that been announced yet?
The round of 16 is the 5th and 6th of March, and the 11th and 12th of March, I think.
Yeah. Okay, that's tough.
That's
like what, 2 weeks?
Yes, that's what I love about the new format. There's no real waiting. You just get the games come real quick, which I like that. I do like that. Sorry, you were going to say something, KJ.
Yeah, I was about to ask. How far did Arsenal get last year in the Champions League? Quarterfinals.
Bayern Munich, and we lost.
And it was a bad Bayern Munich team. They got knocked out as well.
Your aim
was still Bayern Munich. I have this argument with everybody. It was still Bayern Munich. I don't like when people see this whole bad Bayern Munich team. It was still Bayern Munich. They still had multiple World Cup players in that.
Just looking at those fixtures, right? So looking at those fixtures, there's no game the weekend before those matches. I assume that's because of the FA Cup. I assume it's the FA Cup weekend. So Arsenal have no game before they play. The game after their first, they played Man United away after their first leg against PSV, as an example. It's PSV they got, right? I've got it right, yeah.
Yeah.
And the next game is on the 7th?
Like the 11th or 12th.
11th, okay. So then obviously you've got then they're at home to Chelsea is their game. And then the match after and then the match after their second leg match is going to be at home to Fulham. When are the semi-finals? Do you know the dates for them? They must be set. They must have set the dates already because I want to see what if they make the quarterfinals, what the quarterfinal dates, because I think the dates are really significant as well. But do you know what? Because then Arsenal have got Brentford in that time, and Arsenal play.
I think our
the
semi-final second leg.
The quarterfinals are the 8th and 9th of April and the 15th and 16th of April.
Okay, so why that's significant is, again, slightly significant. Arsenal play on the weekend of the 12th. They play Brentford, so that's sandwiched in between. The game after their second leg. So if they're in that quarterfinal and if they're against, say, Real Madrid or Ati, they're away to Ipswich. So again, they might be out the title race by then, by the way, Arsenal, with the injuries that they've got. But playing Ipswich as the game after your second round, the second leg of a Champions League quarterfinal, you probably couldn't ask for a better Premier League game than that. But maybe it being at home would help. But yeah, we'll look at some of the other ones as well.
If you want something interesting,
When is
the semi-final second leg is 3 days before Liverpool Arsenal.
So if
Arsenal. I was just about to ask that. So we're going double. We're going twice.
Wait, see, again, I would love to see that as a football fan. That sort of end of that towards the end of the season, semi-final. 2 games at Anfield in a week. That would be, again, whether you hate Arsenal, hate Liverpool or not, to witness that would be. That's the one thing I'd say about when we celebrate our own teams going, as in our own teams from our league going out. I get there's banter, but I do tell you that I always talk about the greatest era of the Premier League was sort of 04 to 2013. And a big reason for that wasn't even just the Premier League games. It was those Champions League matches between Liverpool and Chelsea, Arsenal and Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea, Man United, Arsenal. Those Champions League games in quarterfinals, semi-finals, finals, coupled with all the domestic games, it just brings the league together in terms of brings it to life more than anything else. So I want a little bit of that. I really, really do. And listen, if I have it my way, and it does good for my channel as well, so I'm not going to lie. Listen, give me Villa versus Liverpool in the quarters, and give me Arsenal Liverpool in the semi-final, because that would just be elite.
I mean, our semi-final fixtures, we've got Tottenham on the 26th, then semi-final leg 1, Chelsea, semi-final leg 2, Arsenal.
Woo!
So I wouldn't be afraid of Tottenham and Chelsea. I'll be honest.
Thanks for
No, George. I don't think it's the individual. It's the run.
I know it's the timing, but I'll be honest. I don't think Tottenham are playing much.
But I get that, but it's the rotating as well, because you will have to rotate at that point. So like Darwin Noodles is starting one of those games. You get what I mean?
But then that also means that technically, if Spurs get to that point as well, Spurs will have that issue as well.
True. And that's obviously that draw's coming up very soon. We're standing live for that on the Football Terrace. Let's go to some of these super chats here. This here says this new draw format was the only way Barca could win their first Champions League in 10 years. They had to cook the draw to get those those bottlers the first Champions League in 10 years.
I'm not ruling out Benfica. You know, Benfica gave them one hell of a game in that group stage and should have got a result out of it, but bar some questionable refereeing at the very end. So across 2 legs, Benfica, they could have something for them.
Was that a last-minute goal by Rafinha, I think?
Yeah, that was that game.
6-5 or something.
There's a few games like that where people are playing the teams they've already played in the group stages very quickly again, because Club Brugge and Villa again. Did Arsenal play PSV? Or was that in the Europa League last year or a couple of years ago?
No, that was Champions League last year. I think this year.
All right, yeah. Our UEFA Champions League campaign has come to an end. Liverpool incoming is what Dyke says here. Oh, right, because Liverpool fans playing it down. Yeah, leopards in a tree and all that. This is a good question here. Who are the top 3 favourites to win the Champions League as per the draw that we've seen now? So we've seen the draw. I think that might change people's perspectives. Who are the top 3 favourites to win it from this point?
Real Madrid, Liverpool, Barcelona.
I agree with the first 2. I'm going to say Inter, though.
Yeah, that was my third Inter.
I'm going to go with Barcelona is my top favourite to win the Champions League. Second favourite is Liverpool, and Real Madrid is the third.
No Arsenal.
No backing your boys.
Habibi, let's move on, man.
We'll see when I ask that question. Saad didn't want to dive into
This man
detail.
wants me to do. This man wants me to. Yeah, but I didn't add a laugh to it, bro. I didn't add a laugh to it, bro. You think I'm? I'm bringing Mikel Merino to Bernabeu?
You know, it's like George. You come from similar areas to me. You know, when you were younger and you were out and it get a little bit on top and it was going to be a bit of a Barney. You know, you always had that one mate who was mouthy in the lead up, but when it really got down to it, you turn around and they're just like, they go right.
They're like in the crowd now, like.
yeah, they're right at the back, ready to jump on the bus or something. So I did that when you mentioned. Yeah, top three for me, round Liverpool first, Barca, Real Madrid, and the draw plays a part in that because I think Barca will make the final now because of the draw, which gives them a chance. In fact, actually, I mean, it's I think I actually put Barca number one. No, I don't. Liverpool number one still, followed by Barca, followed by Real Madrid. But I think it's either going to be Liverpool or Real Madrid in the final with Barca. I think that it's going to end up. I think it's going to end up being that. So
I'll tell you what, I could do without a Liverpool Real Madrid semi-final. My heart cannot take that across two legs.
What I would love, you know, Benfica knock out Barca, PSG knock out Liverpool, Ati do Real Madrid, because then for me it becomes anybody's. I feel like those three, and all three won't go out, but I'd love to see it in this next round or so, because then I think anybody left in it has the ability to win it. Though the problem is with those three teams, especially over two legs, beating them is so hard. And if all three of them are in it, the probability of them all being beaten over two legs by the teams, it's just hard. Where if they all went out early, then suddenly you think, well, anyone can beat anyone. It'd be great. It'd be great.
On the draw, real quick, you're talking about beautiful moments in football. I don't think we've ever seen this, and I want to, because I think it would be the most peak Champions League final you'll probably ever get in your life. Barcelona versus Real Madrid, El Clasico Champions League final.
Do you know what, though, KJ? It'd feel underwhelming because it was never the Messi Ronaldo one.
I know.
That should have been the Champions League final. Those teams.
I still think it'll be a good one, though. You got
look at the season. Look what's happened this season in El Clasicos. Barca have destroyed them 5-1. Like, there's such a storyline between these two teams, and plus they're both in the title race as well. They're going neck and neck with Atleti for the title. So imagine a title race with Barca and then also a flipping Champions League final.
No, I wouldn't mind seeing it.
Atleti had a real problem as well, because they this season they've played. Simeone's shown that he can play this like nice attacking football if needs be, but you can never rule out the fact that he can just go for that horrendously horrible 4-4-2 low block to stifle you for an entire 90 minutes. The fact that Atleti now have both play styles in their locker, if they get through Real Madrid, and again, that's like the biggest ask you can have in a Champions League. Can you beat the greatest Champions League team of all time? But if Atleti get through, I think they go on and win it. I think if they get through Real Madrid, it'll be their time.
And I wouldn't mind. And I wouldn't mind seeing that. For me, when my team's not in it, I'd like to see a side that hasn't won it before do it. The biggest reason being, it stops a team getting one further ahead of me or catching me in terms of the amount they've got. And yet, you know, if an Arsenal or a PSG or an Ati were to win it, they've only got one. I've still got three. So it's, you know. But for me, I'd like to see Club Brugge to win it. You know, let's go old school. This here from Theo. Theo says, I've been watching you for a while now, Terry. I appreciate your neutral standpoint. Thank you very much, Theo. My question is, what fixture is the most exciting to you in the round of 16? It's a really good question. I feel, do you know what? Benfica Barcelona, for the way the controversy around the ending of that previous game, I think could be electric. I'm actually looking forward to Club Brugge versus Villa, because I think both teams will attack and be open. But Liverpool versus PSG is going to be amazing. PSG have come alive. Liverpool, we know how brilliant they are. Best team in the world at the moment. So, yeah, those three are my standout fixtures for that round. You could, of course, the Madrid derby as well. But those three, there's just little parts about
also,
them.
Leverkusen Bayern is good.
Oh, yeah, Madrid, very good. Yeah.
That Madrid derby, I've just seen a mad stat. You know that Real Madrid have only beaten Atletico once in 7 games, in the last 7. The last 7 games, they've only beaten Atletico Madrid once.
That's true, but I'll throw this in. Not in the Champions League. Champions League does something to Real Madrid.
Sad. I can tell you haven't played Real Madrid in the Champions League recently. You don't understand what they are in the Champions League until your team goes against them.
You know what? Yeah, we could probably beat Real Madrid.
If Agal was here, Agal would be gassing up.
He's still in the stage of like, no, if we just play well, if we just do our job, we'll beat them. I've watched my team play the greatest game of football we played in an entire season, and Real Madrid just go, clean sheet 1-0,
Liverpool
enjoy.
fans still send Sergio Ramos death threats from what happened to Mo Salah. Just saying.
Nah, but that was a disgrace, bro.
It wasn't a disgrace.
You just have to look at what happened.
That was pre-planned. We know.
Do you know
this.
what? No. Do you know what? Do you know why? I will say, look, you all know, and you've seen me back Salah in nearly every debate ever about him because I don't like the disrespect. But let's not get it twisted. Salah initiated the confrontation. All that happened is it's like we've all been out and about in our younger days. Sometimes, what is it? There's a new expression for it now. Anyway, you fuck about, you find out. And he fucked about, and he got thrown by a bigger, stronger man, and his arm popped out. It was a lesson to everyone out there. Don't pick fights with people that are bigger and stronger than you. It's a rule. When I grew up, you were just basically told if someone's bigger and stronger than you, you don't give it a big one, right? And that's all that happened. Nothing was wrong in that. It wasn't pre-planned. Let's take Salah out the game. Come on now. They had Ronaldo on the team. Let's get through these super chats before the Europa League draw starts. Arsenal game versus PSV is going to be very hard since we have 4 first-team attackers out for that. Yeah, listen, that's a massive leveler for every game now because Arsenal don't have their 4 main attackers, which I don't think any other team in Europe has that problem right now. George, it's George as in Jordan. So George, as in George.
We got George, man.
Who did Spurs get in the Champions League draw? Typical Spurs using other clubs' glory to banter Arsenal.
Oh, I'm waiting for my Europa League draw for one where we can actually realistically go and do something because ultimately,
Angel always wins in the second season.
And your second season, George.
Realistically, it's crazy, bro.
People laugh about Arsenal winning the Champions League. Why can't they be the dark horses? Look, if they're in it
in Europe,
if they're in it and they get the Martinellis and the Sakas back, they do become underdogs, big underdogs because of that draw now. They're up again. If you believe in heritage as well, they've got to go up against, they'll have to play Madrid most likely, followed by Liverpool most likely. So they're massive underdogs. That's huge heritage and experience. So Arsenal are dark horses then as the panel doesn't expect them to win. Absolutely. Right. By the way, I'll say this in defense of Arsenal. No. I'm not going to have that. What we can't do, we've got to be balanced here. The terrace is what we're about. If they're all being written off now and they win it, the props they get has to be massive, right? It can't be, but they're Arsenal, right? Or what are we saying?
The props can be great, but still, Terry, they're one of the best teams in Europe. They can't.
No. Let's have it right. Arsenal are they've never done it before. They are dark horses, and if they win it, it'd be a massive. I would sit here and be like, I'd be flabbergasted. It'd be a huge win. It'd be one of the biggest surprises since when Chelsea done it that time. Like I know,
they're not a Dortmund. They don't suck. They're good. They're really, really
They've
good.
never done it before, though, Rams.
Yeah.
They've had great teams and never done it.
Okay, George. By that logic, do you think Dortmund have a better chance of winning the Champions League than Arsenal? Then.
I mean, Dortmund been to the final recently. Not saying they have a better chance of winning it, but if we're talking about who's more likely to do it, I mean, I think Dortmund can get further than Arsenal. Yeah, Arsenal. If we're having it right, Arsenal are the kings of like round of 16 quarterfinals, and they'll celebrate. This is what you don't get. Arsenal fans are actually happy with getting to that stage because they're like, we done decent, we got to the quarterfinals. It's progress. This is what they do. So. Bro, if Arsenal are going to win it, let's have it right.
The only reason
big up to the guy who came out the Europa Conference League, man. Big up to you, man. Anyway,
the only
guy,
reason
bro.
I struggle to give it to Arsenal is because they've got the thing I hate most in the Champions League, which is they're going to Madrid either way. They're either going to Real Madrid, which is the toughest game you could have, or they're going to Atletico Madrid. And Diego Simeone would again. Real Madrid cause you stress. Diego Simeone, you don't know Diego Simeone's stress until you play Diego Simeone in a Champions League knockout game.
Are you still upset over that 5-2? You're still upset over that 5-2, isn't it?
All I'm saying is, guys, fair play to Ram. The energy's there. The energy's just got to be the same. They can't be given no chance. Absolutely not. and then told if they were to win it, yeah, but you're one of the best teams in Europe. It's either got to be you've got a chance because you're one of the best teams in Europe, or you've got no chance and you're a dark horse. It has to be either. George, be humble, my friend. Spurs would love to be in the Champions League. Let's have it right.
Kate, I'm sorry, Kate. Please. You need to stop the pity party. We've been streaming for a while now, Kate. You're never gonna get me to be humble or be the Spurs fans like yourself and Henry. I'm always gonna bring chest, and quite frankly, I'm sure that's what people love about when I come on here. I'm gonna put the pressure on the rival teams and big up my own. So as you can see.
The thing is, as well, George, I've met George in person. When the do-rag's off, he's a different. It's like it changes him. He becomes like Sasha Fierce when he puts on the do-rag. Different. Arsenal have to beat PSV, Madrid, and Liverpool to reach the final potentially, but they might. It might be PSV, Ati, and Club Brugge. PSG, sorry. I'm saying PSV. We don't know yet. That's as hard as it could probably be for Arsenal. In my opinion, second leg at home for the further stages should also be determined by league position. I agree with that. That's the one thing I would add into it. I don't like Madrid are going to actually be at home for all their second leg games, and they had an abomination of a league campaign. They should actually make it that way that the higher you finish, if you're in top 4, for instance, all your second legs are away from home. They should do more seeding. I agree. How about an Inter Liverpool final would be brilliant. Mo versus Hussam. Straight facts derby. I like it. That'd be wicked. Watching those two get angry is just hilarious. Half their stream will not even be in English. For a fact. Arabic.
You know what we'd have to do? We'd have to find a way to fly them both over here and have them in the same room. It would have to be done.
Yeah, do you know what? I'll make that commitment now live on the air. If we get a Champions League final of Inter versus Liverpool, the Football Terrace will get them both over here to do a watch along and live match reaction in our studio, which I don't use as much as I should, but we're going to be back there again very, very soon. So I will make that commitment now. I will get them flown over. We will get that done. So I know Mo's got one because he's been in before, but Hussam, get yourself a passport sorted if you haven't done already, because you never know. It could be on the cards, and we'll get that done because I'm sure the viewers would love to see that. It would be carnage. Although I think we'd get demonetized in about the first 10 minutes.
Definitely. Just make sure you got Hussam like 2 packs of cigarettes when he's stressing.
Yeah.
Oh, he wouldn't be able to smoke. It'd be It'd be even better because he wouldn't be able to smoke in the studio because it's like he's finished. He'll be finished. Oh, it'd be crazy. Especially when we find out he's not really 6 foot something and he's 5'2". Like all the secrets get revealed. No, joking. He's a big lad. Mo's not though. When we met Mo, didn't we? KJ came to the studio during the World Cup. I couldn't believe he made KJ look like Andre the Giant. It was a madness.
I will always say this: if I look like Andre the Giant, then you look like flipping
KJ. Although we did laugh the other day, we were looking at some old content because we had to remove a lot of old content the other day because we keep getting copyright strikes on loads of the old stuff we used to do because of our intro music that used to be copyright free. And now people own it.
I had that the other day, Terry. Literally on the StreamYard intro, I got copyright, and I was like, "This is what they gave to us." It's like the little 1 minute countdowns, and so what's going on here?
Yeah, so we were getting there's a mixture of them. A lot of the old UFF stuff, some of it, UFF, they're not doing it on purpose to us, but they have like a company that automates it, so we get loads of copyright strikes, and basically. All the intro musics, even some of my streams that I used to do walking around London, where it's picked up music from shops, started getting copyright strikes. So we just started like privating a lot of those videos because it's bad for your algorithm. Like according to my YouTube man, he said
that was legendary.
So we had to do that. But when me and KJ were looking back through some of them, we were like, "Look how skinny we both were, KJ." We were both like, right hold of us. Yeah. So be careful with the music you use. Typically, if you're going to use music, unless I buy the music. I literally use it from the YouTube archive, or I've got a friend who does cover stuff on YouTube, and she records. So all the the songs like the Tony Braxton stuff, that's my friend singing, and she's got the license to be able to use the music, and then I just use her license key. But then obviously I distort the voice anyway because I want it to sound really sad. So yeah, be careful, YouTubers, with the music you use because we were getting about 10, almost like 10 a day. It was ridiculous.
It was ridiculously long, and it's just like, is it even worth it for videos that are like 7 years old?
Yeah, no one's watching anymore. So we're like, yeah, we're better off just easier to do that type of thing. So the draw for the Europa League starting on the draw for the Europa League, George, and KJ especially, because our teams are in this.
That's my cue to go. I'm not dealing with this second-rate
Oh,
conversation
no, you
anymore.
sit your ass down, boy.
Obviously, Man United and Tottenham cannot face each other until the final. It is impossible for that to happen, as we can see here. But so what side of the draw, George, would you like? Real Sociedad, followed by maybe a Lyon or a Steaua Bucharest quarterfinal? Or would you prefer AZ Alkmaar and maybe an Ajax or Lyon semi-final on that side? Which side would you rather be on?
I think the left-hand side's the favourable one for me. When I look at the Ajax, the AZ Alkmaars, we've already played them and beat them this season. So I think when I look here, I'd rather go on that side. But either or, like I don't think any of the teams on the other side are too difficult. I think the Fenerbahce draw could just be one that you don't want naturally because it's Mourinho and he could stink out the gaff and just manage to pick up some points or pick up a win. You know what he's like. And then Roma, we did play them, but they're going to be coming up against either or one of the top teams. Generally, I think that the tough games just come to in the semi-final and the final, whether you come up against a Bilbao or Lazio. That's where it's going to be tough, especially if Bilbao actually get to the final at their home gaff. That's not a game you really want to play. At Lazio, they've been blitzing everyone at the moment. And I know towards the end they sort of took their foot off the gas, but I feel like they're the team that I'm going to look at and be like, yeah, I'm not confident in that game. So apart from those two teams, I'm pretty confident against all the other teams in the Europa League. I'm just like, we should get the job done.
Yeah. I want that left-hand side too. I want that left-hand side so bad.
I don't know. Like, I think the quarterfinal for Spurs and United is just going to be tough. If Frankfurt or Lyon win their games, those two teams, I think, will give United and Spurs, especially the ones that we are, they'll give them a. Well, you're not sticking around to see what he's dipping because he can't handle the pressure. George. He knows what. He don't want to answer the questions about his team in the draw. He just wants to trash on Arsenal. But yeah, no, I don't think Man United and Spurs can just sit there and be like, oh yeah, either side is easy because he ain't. The easier side is definitely the left-hand side.
Yeah, I'd rather be on the left. I'd absolutely rather be on the left. But with our form, with Tottenham's form, with our injuries, with Tottenham's injuries, there is no foregone conclusion for me about even getting to a semi-final, let alone winning this tournament. United are unbeaten, and that goes a long way. But with the fact that, look, Mainoo's not going to be back until April. Ahmad's out for the season. The only thing I do have a little bit of hope in is even when it comes to Rasmus Højlund, he has been good in this tournament. Do you know what I'm saying? He has been good in this tournament as an example. So from my point of view and perspective, do me a favor, KJ, send the link out to Strasbourg Steve. I think he wants to come on and because obviously he's got teams in this. I know he's watching. Yeah, Lazio. I think he might have about 8 teams in it, to be fair. So, but I can't. But Rasmus, and people like call him Rasmus. Yeah, we know he ain't good in the Prem, but he's got a good goal scoring record for us in Europe. And if that's what we have to hope for. We have to hope that the Europa League form, European form of certain players continues. So, yeah, from my perspective and point of view, I'm not counting my chickens before they've hatched. I'm not thinking about the final in Bilbao. I'm not any of that. It's going to be get through each game one by one. But what my gut feeling tells me is as long as we can pick up a few wins in the next week or two in the league, and once we know we're not going to go down, because that is a possibility if you keep losing, I think we will start to prioritize this tournament. Because from a financial standpoint, if we were able to get to a final, if we were able to win this tournament, that means Champions League football. That means an extra 60, 70 million pound in income. And with a club that is sailing close to that financial wind, that is massive. So, yeah, look, we'll get some players back from injury. We need a few to start performing. And we really do need some to start performing in this competition. But this is the one thing, even under Amorim, I've felt more comfortable in Europe than I have in the league. So I'm not completely writing us off, but I'm definitely not counting any chickens, 110%.
Yeah, no, it's going to be long for Man United no matter what we do. Again, the league stage, we got through in the end, but just like with Real Madrid and some of the teams in the Champions League, there are teams in that Europa League that when it comes to knockout stages, they'll switch it on. Remember, Eintracht Frankfurt are previous winners. They have won the Europa League before. You know, Lyon this season have gotten better from where they previously were. Lazio and Athletic Bilbao, have they won the? I think they've also, they've won the Europa League as well.
They have won it, and it's going to be in their. It's going to be. They're going to be
in
at
their stadium.
They're going to be in their stadium. So there's a massive thing. There's a massive thing for them. Big up Strasbourg, Steve. The draw is about to start, so we will keep you all abreast of that. I'm just trying to sort out your background noise. 1 second. I'm just trying to. There we go. Cool. We'll come to you. Well, he's turned his camera off. The draw, I think, is about to start now. By the way, I will say the one thing I hate about draws in Europe, they just long everything out, don't they? Why didn't they just do all 3 draws back to back to back in the space of an hour instead of dragging it over 3 hours? It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. And also, they should have done this when they did the playoffs personally, because that would have made the playoffs seem even more like
who you get in.
You know who you get in, you know the route. Like
the one good. Well, again, this is also why I want to be on the left hand side. I think for me the favourites in this tournament are Lazio. So that's another reason why I want to be on the left hand side, because I'd rather play Lazio in a one-off. I think in a one-off game, based on how we're playing versus how they are, I feel like we
could. There can be on either side, Terry.
Yeah, what I'm saying is though, I get what you mean. I want to be on the opposite side to Lazio. Is what I'm saying. So we're getting a bit of feedback from your end, Strasbourg, Steve. I'm not too sure. Have you got any earphones with you?
Let me check.
Yeah. Just because we're getting a lot of feedback. I just want to be on the opposite side because I'd rather Lazio. The way I feel about United right now, I'd rather Lazio in one game than.
But then that means Bilbao over 2, and going to Spain. United going to Spain.
That's true. That's very, very true. Because we can't. Because we can't. Oh yeah, because you can't get. It's either gonna be one or the other on our side, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe Lazio over 2 legs would be a better option. Again, we're talking about the better option of 2 draw teams I want to completely avoid. Although, listen, you never know. These teams also get knocked out early and have all gone out early in these tournaments before themselves. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one indeed. But the draw is now about to start, people. We are going to be giving you updates as we go through them. We're going to go to some of your super chats. By the way, if you haven't done so already, hit the like button. Make sure you are subscribing. Make sure you are clicking on the bell notification button. Someone here said you should use copyright-free music. No, we did. So the music used to be copyright-free. So sometimes I've got them off websites. Sometimes you've searched for them and they are, and we never got no copyright strikes to begin with. But like 4 or 5 years later, suddenly we're getting copyright strikes. I think what happens is that someone somewhere buys the music and then owns it and then starts, which would make sense. So, because you can always buy things in life. So someone might make a nice bit of music, put it on the internet and go, it's free for everyone to use. KJ might buy it in 5 years and go, now it's mine, and put like a copyright thing out on YouTube so that it starts striking. So yeah, and it's just not good. Doesn't damage your channel. You won't lose the ability to live stream or anything. But my YouTube manager, I'm quite fortunate to have a human being at YouTube I can speak to, just said, yeah, it's not, they never tell you much about the algorithm. You ask, I try and get stuff out of them, they never tell you anything. But he's like, yeah, it's not great when you get those. So yeah, we've just removed anything that could possibly come under that, guys. So thank you. If the final goes to penalty shootouts, which penalty does Tom want Darwin Núñez to take? He's not here to answer it. Can you imagine? Basically, I guarantee Darwin Núñez is the kind of player though that will score it in a final. He'd score it in a final.
Yeah, just for some weird reason.
Would Kai Havertz? He's got the chance, the penalty to win it. Would Kai Havertz be the guy? Well, he won't be the guy anyway. He's injured, isn't it? He won't be kicking the ball. So.
I mean, to be honest, Kai Havertz is pretty good with penalties, though.
It's Odegaard the guy who bottle it. Odegaard would bottle it.
Odegaard, I can't forgive him for that freaking. He still needs to earn his right. Man.
Wait! Imagine if Saka redoes the
why are you speaking, KJ?
Imagine. You know what's funny? Man United don't have to worry about Sancho or Rashford in any final this year if we get there for penalties, so we don't have to relive that trauma.
The thing is, though, we won't have a goalkeeper as easy as Raya. When I watched that penalty shoot at back, Raya just dove so early. We just knocked each of our penalties. Our players just went easy the other side. Like he dove a good half a second before our players kicked the ball. It was genuinely.
It's so
He made it so easy for
weird,
us.
Though it's so weird because if you look at him in the Porto penalty shootout, like he was brilliant. So I don't know what happened to him. I don't know why. I don't know. I think that maybe the pressure got to him. I don't know because he was. It was.
Arteta told him
from
there's
that.
bigger fish to fry.
There you are, man.
Arteta told him there's
There you are,
bigger fish to fry. That was what it was.
KJ's in one of these moods, bro. He's just here to vent. Do you know what I mean?
No,
Listen, your time is coming, mate. Your time is coming, mate. I
didn't-
saw how your club is not able to ruin Anthony anymore. Look what he's doing in Real Betis, mate. He's shining now.
Then.
He's shining.
Start signing for the Saka back.
Oh hell no, no.
Exactly, bro.
No.
Don't be chatting about Anthony.
I don't want him, bro. I don't want him.
Be chatting about Anthony,
That
bro.
Man United. I don't want anybody's like. Do you know what I mean? Seconds.
Yeah. You've already got enough.
Here we
with,
go, guys. The names are coming out. So the first name out the hat is Olympique Lyon. Olympique Lyon. Their name is out. Olympiacos, sorry. They will play Bodo Glimt. So it is going to be Olympiacos versus Bodo Glimt. Okay, so that draw is done, which means Rangers will be on the right-hand side of the draw. That's where Rangers will be now. And it's like they will probably play Fenerbahce. That's what will come out now, I believe. So, yes, Rangers come out and they will play Fenerbahce on the right-hand side of that.
Sorry, their delegate looks shocked. He's like, oh, flips.
Mate, that's going to be raucous between those two sets of fans. Right.
Yeah.
So out next, we're going into pot 3, seeded teams 3 and 4. Sorry, 5 and 6. And the first name out of this hat is, I think I'll put this in bigger because I can't see it. It's too small. So Frankfurt have come out. This is an interesting one. Frankfurt, Ajax. So Frankfurt are on the left-hand side of the draw with Ajax. Okay, so the left-hand side is starting to get a little bit more stacked already. It's just stacking up the left-hand side a bit more. So that will now mean that Olympique Lyon will play Steaua Bucharest. I'm getting to a point now where I'm thinking I want the right-hand side.
Yeah.
So Olympic Lyon versus Steaua Bucharest. We already beat them, and they're a good team actually. We would beat them, so that's done. Man United will be coming out in this next. Now we will be coming out in pots 3 or 4. So, right, here we go. Man United's name. I don't know if it's coming out yet. The first name out is
Spurs.
Tottenham Hotspur. Come out first, and they will play. We'll find out now if it's AZ Alkmaar. They're on the left. If it's Sociedad, they're on the right. They are on the left-hand side against AZ Alkmaar. Man United will play Real Sociedad. Real Sociedad. Man United hate going to Spain, and that is where we will go first. Real Sociedad. That's not the draw we wanted. It isn't the one we wanted. Have we actually got any delegates, or are they made redundant yet? I don't know. We have got someone out there. One person. He's before. There's one now. Okay, so now we find out whether we've got Lazio or Bilbao on our side. Okay, so we'll chat about this. Let's see here. So it's Lazio are out first. I think Lazio are on the left-hand side because they will probably be up against Victoria Polson. Yes, they are. So Lazio on. So if Man United do get, we hate going to Spain. We are awful there. If to make the final, we've got to go away to Spain twice.
Wrap it up.
Against Bilbao. Athletic Club will play Roma. So on Man United side, it is Roma Club Athletic. I will put it up on the screen when I put it up in a moment. But it's going to be Roma versus Bilbao, Fenerbahce Rangers, Steaua Bucharest versus Lyon, Sociedad, Manchester United. The other side is Victoria Polson versus Lazio, Bodo Glimt versus Olympiacos, Ajax versus Feyenoord, and AZ Alkmaar versus Tottenham. Tottenham got the side that George wanted that side. So now we find out if we're home or away in the quarterfinals, which is going to be the real interesting bit. KJ looks depressed. Oh no.
He's not smiling now, KJ.
I think we're away second leg as well, KJ.
Oh man,
Yeah, I think we are.
Damn. Yes.
So if we make it to the quarterfinal, oh, they haven't actually put anything up on screen
Wait.
yet. No, that wasn't our one that came out. So
that was us.
that wasn't our one yet.
We're
I think it's,
number 3 or 5, and I think we're 5 and 6.
yeah, I'm not too sure which number we are. I don't know. Oh, yeah, I think we are 5 and 6. They're doing it in that order, so that's not us yet. So but we got drawn out first. I think no, Spurs came out first. So you want to see number 1 come out first in our group. Does that make sense? Or whatever. We want to see Spurs' one come out first.
Yeah.
Because we're 5 and 6. So we want to see 5, I think, come out first because they're on the left-hand side. I think it's 5. But I don't know because I can't hear. Oh no, Spurs will be away. Spurs are going to be away for the second leg if they get through to the quarterfinals. I don't know the numbers.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what number we are.
We're just away, but
Hang on, let's see. Oh, this is Rangers. Oh, that's because that's the top end. Let's have a little look here. They just went to Rangers delegates. Can't hear anything. I don't know. Let's see what comes out here. We need to be at home for the second leg if we've got any chance. So the next one that came out shows that Rangers will be away against Roma or Club Athletic after for the second leg. So Rangers are away if they get through. Now this is going to be our one. This is only our one left. Oh no.
7. Oh,
we just don't know if that's us or not. We're 8, I suppose, aren't we? Mate, I don't know.
We're 8. So then would that mean we're at Old Trafford in the second leg of?
It should mean that. I don't know.
I think so.
That might be Lazio. They've gone to Lazio's delegates on the screen. So yes, Man United will be at home for the second leg of the quarterfinals. If we indeed make it, we will be. If we're in that, we will be away. We will be at home for the second leg.
I think they're doing the semis now.
So the semis come out. That's you want to be. You always want to be at home for the second legs. Always, I feel. So let's see what happens here. And by the way, we're guesstimating this because I didn't watch the breakdown. I'm only going with the fact that our name is away on the screen, which means it looks like we're away for the first leg, I think. That's typically how it works in Europe. If I'm wrong, people in the chat, let me know, man. So semi-final, the quarter-final 2 winner versus... So the first semi-final will be... Put it on the screen, guys. Show us. Stop talking.
There's too many names. There's too many names to put up on when they bring it up. So we have to wait for the tournament tree after this next one.
Yes, and then we'll put it up on screen so we don't know what this one's doing. Viewers, let us know what you think and what you feel. You're happiest. Do you know what it is for me? It's not Sociedad because they're Sociedad. It's going away to Spain that I'm more. Man United's away record in Spain for the last 40 years has been awful.
And Sociedad is the team that we got screwed over against in the Europa League 2 years ago with that handball against the San Germanes.
Yeah, and we were better than them, I felt. Yeah, we were better than them, but we're just not as good. But we're not as good a team anymore. By the way, quarterfinal 4. We were quarterfinal 4, I think.
I think so.
And it says on here that we might be away again. We might be at home for the second leg again in the semi-final, potentially looking at the draw. But I need to see it up on the screen. Once I see it, I'll share it so the audience can see as well. I'll have to pause it when it comes up. But we have the rounds. So I'll put that up on the screen so you man can all see.
Yeah.
This is the tree as you can see it. So as you can see, Man United versus Sociedad will play in the quarterfinal. Lyon or Steaua Bucharest. Roma versus Athletic Club will play either Rangers or Fenerbahce. On the other side, AZ Alkmaar versus Tottenham will play Ajax or Frankfurt in the quarters. Bodo Glimt Olympiacos will play. I mean, Lazio there must be licking their lips at their route to that semi-final. They must be licking that, but then they have got the benefit there of what happens when you come out on your group stage on top there, as it were. Hopefully what they put up next, and I'm not going to play it because I might get a copyright strike, is the bracket stages. I want to see whether Man United are going to be home or away. I think we're away.
We're away for we're going to be at home for the second leg for every single round. Because of the position that we're in. That's a bit.
That's good. That's a benefit for us. Where I think when we got knocked out by Sevilla a couple of seasons ago, I don't think we'd have got beaten that bad in the first leg because you approach it differently. So I think we've got a bit more of a chance there. But look, now that we've seen the draws, now that we've seen the home and legs, has it changed anyone's perspective on favourites in this at all?
No. You know what I'm saying? Man United, we aren't going to win. We're definitely not going to win now. Spurs, we're not going to win. They're definitely not going to win now because I don't see them getting past Frankfurt and then Lazio. I don't see us getting. Can we even get past flipping Sociedad? Then we got Lyon potentially, probably. Which again, I think I'd give us a chance against Lyon, but then it'll be probably Athletic Bilbao, and yeah, that's not happening. So yeah, it's peak. It is peak for us, man.
So
just get to the end of the season. Don't get relegated. That's the aim, man. This competition.
From the left side, who do we think that we are going to get through to the final? Most likely,
Frankfurt or Lazio. Frankfurt or Lazio.
Now, do you know what? Yeah? I'm actually going to go with it. I know people won't agree, but I think the semi-final is going to be Tottenham versus Lazio. I think Tottenham are making that semi-final. I don't know whether they'll win the semi-final, but I think they will make the semi-final. I really, really do. Andrew Young here is right. Yeah, Sociedad, they beat us at Old Trafford. That was that game with the handball and the penalty. It was the same day the Queen died. It was the day the Queen Elizabeth died. I remember that game.
And then we won in Spain, but we needed to score 2 goals to not play the playoff. Granted, we got to play Barcelona and we beat them. So,
Sean, listen, I wouldn't predict a Man United Spurs final, but I would love a Man United Spurs final. I'd absolutely love it.
You know, I wouldn't, because the way that we are right now and the way that they've been having, the way that they've had this season, if they did this 4 times in a row in one season, and it's a Europa League final, nah. And
but that's why.
AJ, come on, man.
AJ, that's why. I know you're. As this comments here, there's a comment here where we laugh. Listening to KJ just dampens everyone's dreams. I hear you. At the same time, probability. I remember do you remember when Chelsea and City played each other quite a lot towards the end of the season where the Champions League final happened? And I think City got the better of them each time until the final of the Champions League, and then Chelsea won. So for me, I
swear, because Tuchel was in there, they were beating City when they weren't supposed to.
Maybe. I just remember a lot of Chelsea fans saying, I'd rather lose the FA Cup game. I'd rather lose this game. Because I swear they had each other in like an FA Cup semi-final or something like that. Something along those lines. I just look at it on probability, though. I view it along the lines of what's the likelihood of them beating us 4 times on the bounce and in a major final? It's low. By the way, who would you rather, Tottenham or Lazio? Who would you rather, Tottenham or Frankfurt?
I would rather Spurs.
Forget the banter from George and Kate. From the banter point of view, I don't want it to be them because it'll be worse. But if you actually think about it as a footballing side, if you look at that side of the draw, like I'd much rather Spurs over 2 or 3 of those other sides.
No, that's true. No, I would. But at the same time, what was the probability that they beat us 3 times in a row in the season? The probability was low for that too as well. We're in this.
Sorry, I got this wrong. Latimus. Well, he actually said Chelsea. Do you know what it was? This is why I thought I remembered it wrongly. It was the City fans that said they're confident of the final because they'd lost those other ones. They didn't think that they would lose it. Right? In my head, I thought you lost in the league in the semi-final.
And this is what I mean. Because we're in the mode right now this season. You know what, Navin? I get what you're saying about dampening dreams, but I am a dream dampener until the summer, bruv, because he ain't looking good. We're in a mode right now where anything that seems as low possibility as possible is possible. That's just as a club, that's where we're at.
The Arsenal connection to this Sociedad game as well with Zubimendi, the likelihood of him going there is there. And listen, yes, I agree with you. I wouldn't even make us a favourite to get past Sociedad right now with our current form. So, if I look at the sort of brackets and the likelihood of going through, Lazio are favourites for me. Athletic Club are up there. Sociedad are up there. Spurs. I put all of those teams based on how good they are compared to us this season and the bracket and who we've got to play. I put at least 4 or 5 teams ahead of us in terms of favourites to win it, even though we're unbeaten in the competition this year. I think that's an important part. But look, the games will be coming very, very soon. It's only just over a week, and the games will be here. Look, there's a few super chats from earlier I didn't do. It's going to be an all Spanish final, most likely. It very well could be. That's about the Champions League there. Havertz already been the guy to score the only goal in the Champions League final. This is true. In my opinion, second leg at home for further stages have to be determined. Oh, yeah, but we've done that super chat. But yeah, no, I agree with you. That should definitely play a part, especially in the Champions League as well. Look, I want to thank everybody that has tuned in. We're going to be live at 3:30 today for Straight Facts with myself, Staffy, Don, and Lawless. This is going to redirect you to that. So go and like it now, go and bookmark it, and get yourselves ready for that. Where I'm
Judge Mo, sorry.
What's
National
that?
League.
Oh, this is going to Judge Mo. Okay, cool. So make sure you go over there and you go and support Judge Mo. He's going live very, very soon. But we are live at 3:30 today. So make sure that you are back with us then. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again soon. Peace.